Hey there, welcome back. First of all, my apologies. In that last video, I did a whole bunch of talking to a black screen. I know a few folks have already contacted me and said, "Hey, don't do that anymore." I get that. The other thing is I was really contemplating just playing as a different nation because you've already seen a lot about what Portugal has to offer, um, and some of the excitement you can have as Portugal because you're really not that strong of a country. And as you can see, I've been struggling with my money the entire game. But I was encouraged to continue because I think some of you are just very interested, especially if you've watched this far in. Um, how's this going to turn out? Um, I honestly don't know. I still think we're just one war away from getting obliterated. But that's part of what makes this game fun. Okay, one other thing. I was also asked not to talk about like what's it like to play as Russia or whatever. Just play as them. I mean, there's no reason to spend time, so I won't. And then lastly, I was asking about the charter companies, and I did do some research in them, and I did realize why I was confused by them, and it's because it's from the Dharma expansion pack. So Dharma adds a whole bunch of stuff. So if you want to play as the Indian nations, you now have a lot more interesting choices and missions, and so they basically beefed it up. I mean, when you played the vanilla version of this game, if you chose anybody that was not in Europe, you basically got generic technology, generic everything. It was a really unexciting experience. And so what they did was through the different expansion packs, they sort of beefed up what it's like. One of them, of course, was uh, it beefed up playing as the Asian, China and Japan. This one, of course, Dharma, and beefed up the India. Well, Dharma also, and every one of these packages always introduces some other game element that everybody gets to enjoy, and that was the charter companies. So the charter companies, as I understand it, is we're going to get to try it out here as soon as this becomes a colony, or I'm sorry, a territory. Uh, Basically with a charter, you don't get any tax or other income, but it like doubles your trade power. And when you're dealing with overseas stuff, I mean that's not a bad thing because that's not a primary source of tax income anyways for you. Um, the charter companies let you ignore the religion issues, the culture issues. If you recall, I've been sending missionaries and converting them, and then changing the culture to mirror my own all throughout here in West Africa. And I am getting annoyed because, as you can see, Spain is spreading over here. But and then you can see I got my Brazil going as well. All right, so back to this. Um, the charter ignores all that. And so you don't get any of the penalties from those things. And most of those things like culture and uh, the religion, the penalty is in your taxes anyways. Now, what does it do for you? Well, this is where people complain about the charters. They actually don't like it and what it did. So basically, you can have a single province like this and essentially just own the whole area because the charter, I guess, can just start buying up territories. Excuse me, had to sneeze there. So sorry for that. So, anyways, you can just start buying up territories, and uh, I guess another very powerful place to do it is near India, where I showed you all the territories are already taken. So you had to. I was mentioning you can take an army there and you have to invade, but what they're saying is with the charter, you can just buy territories and basically buy loyalty, and then those provinces will start being a part of you. Um, so let's play. We'll play with it and see how it works. And I'm going to make a charter here in South Africa, and I think I have to have. So here we go. We can do it right now. We're going to start the South African charter. It gives control of this region to our new company, greatly improve its value for building a trade empire, but reduce troops and taxes, which we don't care about. And yes, here you can see we get the 100% of the trade power. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I don't know if I'm assuming we still have to send the new settlers there, but the fact that the culture is different and all those things should not hurt us. And until this thing turns into a territory, we really can't do much here. But yes, we already put it, and it's part of the whatchamacallit, the charter. And you can see we have the trade company here, and you can see Portugal has a trade company there, and that's giving us already an extra 18.6%. And then the other thing I forgot to tell you is if you control over 50% of the trade power, which we will, because we're already at 24%. As soon as we get a few provinces here, this will go over 50. You get a free merchant, and I didn't even know that. It's not written anywhere, but apparently you do. And so, anyways, we'll put that merchant here, and we'll have him push money back. All right, so I think that's where we're at. I don't remember. It's been a couple days since I was last recording this. We are mothballed. I think our army is at zero. Yeah, zero morale. We don't have a general anymore. So, oh, I forgot to mention a conquistador is the same thing as an explorer, except a couple of differences. You can explore into the land areas, and then the other thing that the conquistador does is you get a huge bonus against natives. Basically, explore land areas, and you. Oh, I'm sorry, my dog just bumped my arm. Yeah, they do let you explore land areas, but I was convinced that they gave you a bonus against natives, but maybe I'm confusing this with the previous version of Europa. Usually you needed a conquistador to conquer, like, for example, the Mayans and, and take over. But they're they are a general, and they're usually not as good as the general. And so, all right. All right, with that said, let's get a general going and assign it. You always want your main army to have a general. All right, so Rio, and you get a lot of prestige for doing colonization. So we just got Rio to join. Now, if I do a whole bunch of these, it will form the colony of Brazil. I'm not too concerned about that because the colony of Brazil is helpful to us. So I'm going to go ahead and send the colonist. And the other thing is if you remember, I chose this middle one. I had to take a stability hit to do it. But it causes a 50% chance of native uprising, or it reduces it by 50. But I also now have the idea, or let's see, that reduces their native uprising by another 50. So it should be 100%. So we're getting the benefit of the middle one without having any native uprisings. So that's how it should work. So we should be good to go there. We don't need to start putting armies everywhere. And here you can see I have a merchant available, and that might be because of my trade charter. I don't know, but we'll go ahead and put him here. Oh, I'm not in range. So I need this colony to finish before I can be in range. And there you can see we're getting settlers, but it's a slow growth, and we're only at 94 out of 1,000. So it'll take a while. All right, so we just finished exploring. And you can see we're now getting the Pacific Ocean explored. We're going up the backside of the Americas. We've already made it all the way out to India. We're doing really well as far as exploring goes. And I can build something, but one of the things I just realized I want to do is, I believe it's here, I want to embrace the colonialism that started in our territory. We're actually getting a penalty because we have yet to embrace colonialism, so I want to do that, and I need a little bit more money to do that. All right, so we got, I'll take the prestige hit. So rocking and rolling. This is saying we're losing some innovativeness. All right, St. Helena finished. Remember, this was us just trying to claim the spots so France and Spain can't. And like this South Georgia is another weird one you can take. See way down here. Another nice thing to do is just to take all of these in South Africa, because that prevents them from getting to India. So if you just block all their possibilities of getting to India, it makes it harder for them. And then of course you got these islands over here. That one's a bad one, but this is the one I was telling you at the end of my last video. You know, you can go to these two sets of islands. I do have a range issue. This is not a full territory yet, so it doesn't add to my range. So my range is being based off of here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this island down here, because again, that just blocks them. And here you can see we settled in Central Africa. And so we're going to get trade power of 20. So we just finished another mission. All right, we finished another exploration. These guys want us to share 22 provinces with them. Nope. So let's get our exploration in. Arabian Sea. I'll do Southeast Pacific for now. And yeah, we're moving right on up with the military tech here. Okay, combat width increased by 2. We haven't talked about this too much yet. My fire and shock go up, and apparently my corruption is growing. So root out corruption, it's going up, and then of course you have to spend money towards it. So here you can see the corruption is now to 0, and you sort of want it to go to 0.01 if you can, but Jesus, I'm paying an awful lot to be able to do. I can't do that. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go back down. So we're paying $1.07 monthly to take out 0.11 corruption. Corruption is one of those things that can be painful, but you do want to just pay whatever it takes to not let it grow. You definitely don't want it to grow. That's the best thing I can say about that. The part I was going to talk about was battles, and I played this game on such a high speed that the battles tend to resolve really quickly. So it's really hard to describe it without an actual battle occurring. But if you think about it this way, there's going to be a combat width, and in that width, you need to have as many infantry as your combat width to fill it up, or otherwise your infantry are going to get flanked. Okay, and then your cavalry are sitting behind your infantry, and if the enemy infantry loses or has openings in their ranks, the cavalry are going to get to do massive damage. The other thing about combat is it cycles through what's called a like a cannon phase, and then a fire phase, and then a shock phase, or I don't know what the exact order is. Part of the reason I don't explain it so much is because I am going to get some of it wrong. I usually don't care about these underlying mechanics, but there's a lot of underlying mechanics, and when your skills or stats go up, you might be thinking, well, what does that mean? Well, it's always good if it has a green number next to it, right? But let's see here. This might be actually helpful, because right here, your cavalry to infantry ratio is what matters. Your army, excluding artillery, cannot have more than 50% cavalry, or you suffer insufficient support penalties. The width is 27. That's how many regiments may fight at the same time. Increased combat width is done by military tech. Siege ability, of course, is just your ability to take over castles in siege. Let's see, morale, of course, if it goes to 0, you retreat. It doesn't matter how strong you are. And there you can see the morale of armies is greatly reduced because I'm not funding them right now, but if I were, it would actually be very decent. The tradition is it's just like a nebulous thing that just increases morale, and as you can see, it makes your siege ability go better, but mostly it impacts morale. The military tactics See, it reduces the damage your units take in combat. The higher it is, the better. That's all I know from it as well. I mean, I couldn't. And then discipline here, you just want 100% discipline. Otherwise, you don't do as much damage. And then for fort defense, that of course only applies to forts. And then you can see here the numbers that are attached to the fire modifier. My advice is just hover over and just read what it says. So this says it's a pure multiplier. How much damage your troops ultimately deal during the fire phase. Sorry, I'm getting a drink. Okay, so it says 0.8. And so what I think, if I understand, if you have every infantry unit at full strength is 1,000. So you would take 1,000, multiply it by 0.8. You're going to get, what, 800? And then you're basically doing 800 damage, unmodified. Now, obviously, they have defense factors that would possibly reduce that damage, etc. But that's the whole idea. And so when you're in the fire phase, the infantry is contributing, and so your cannons are contributing the most. They're contributing a straight up 1, but your infantry are contributing 0.8, and then your cavalry aren't contributing that much. They're at half. But then when you're in the shock phase, you can see that the cavalry are real big on shock. Your cannons don't do much, and then your infantry actually are doing better. And it's, remember, I picked the Condada, which actually gives me an improvement to shock. You see that? So that's how it sort of all plays together. And then the amount is just how many regiments or units. They're calling it units. So at full strength, this would be 1,800 infantry, etc. But it's counting my entire army worldwide. Okay? And now ships are very much the same. They have a lot of similarities, except there's this concept of hull size and you have cannons. But just trust me, the carracks are the best in the game. And, you know, caravels are meant to be more for trading. Galleys are very strong for like the Mediterranean. And so they're good for shallow combat, shallow water combat. And then the cogs, of course, are your transport ships. So, anyways, that's enough of that. Let's go ahead and keep going. I'm getting close, and I can't remember if I set a new mission or not. I think I did. I wanted to go there. So off we go. All right, Morocco shared their maps. And here we go. We finally got enough money. Let's embrace. And just by doing that, we get a trade power modifier, which we wanted. And then this just got 30% cheaper. And boom, we now have a trade range of 20. Our efficiency just went up. And now we just enabled the flute and the war galley. And then our corruption somehow is an issue again. I don't know what is causing our corruption to go up. That part I don't quite understand, to be honest. There's stuff you can do to lower your corruption, and it's mostly like ideas. So I think we do want to do that. And let's look at our ships real quick. So for example, we have these ships. Oh, I picked on the wrong thing. I picked on a merchant. Where's our navies? Here. So these two. Actually, I wasn't paying enough attention to our technology advance. So if we want to build a ship, the carracks haven't changed, but see the barks are now caravels. You see that? And then war galley and flute are these lower level ones. So let's start with our big armada here. And what we want to do is we want to cancel the mission. How do I do that? Right there. So we're going to cancel the mission and head home. And watch what happens when we get there. So now that we're home, we want to upgrade them to the better ships. So there should be a way to do it. Why am I not seeing this? Is that the mission? No. These cogs, I should be able to upgrade the cogs. Right there, upgrade ships. Oh, we can't afford it. I need 240 bucks to upgrade 13 ships. So that's our problem. You need some money. And now the pirates are hitting us because we're not on our mission. So let's get back out there and destroy some pirates. But now you get the idea. And then, yeah, as soon as we start upgrading, they're going to just start raiding us. It's crazy, isn't it? All right. So now we got a whole bunch of choices here. Holy cow. All right. So this first one enables a parliament. It disables the nobility estate. Okay. Disabling nobility might be huge for us because nobility has been a bit of a thorn. But remember that nobility is giving us some manpower recovery, so it's not really doing that much for us. And we keep getting those events where the nobility needs this or needs that. But let me just tell you something. Um, uh, Parliament is a pain in the butt in itself. So what Parliament is, if you start off as Britain, of course you have Parliament there. Parliament's going to be, we have different states that are going to have representatives. I mean, it's very democratic. So Lisboa, for example, will be a member of Parliament, and then so will Porto. You know, and we'll probably pick all these mainland states more than anything. So then Parliament's going to vote for things, and we get to propose like, hey, we want to be able to raise taxes and get an extra 15% in tax revenue. Well, then Parliament's got to vote on it. Well, you have to then be willing to give them favors. So a lot of times it's going to increase your corruption because you're going to do underhanded favors for them. And uh, but basically, it's just like any movie or game you've played. You usually see it with the Catholic See and cardinals, right? You're manipulating cardinals to vote for you, and then if you know your guy becomes the pope, then you get some favors from the pope. It's a similar thing. I mean, you'll get like you'll know that you have a 70% chance of passing. Um, or you can keep pressing and bribing people and doing favors and get it up to 90%, or you can actually get it to the point where you just flat out win. Um, and then you enjoy some bonus that Parliament gives you. Um, Now, what this would do, though, is it removes the nobility, so you no longer have these factions fighting against each other, and then us having to appease the nobility, who have a huge influence. And remember, nobility is causing us to give up autonomy in these states, so we're not making as much money. It's a very interesting idea. Let's just put it that way. So this one, absolutism would go up 5, which means we would have a lot of control, but that's all we get. And remember, this doesn't even help us until we get to the age of absolutism, but you're basically, you know, putting yourself, your monarch rules supreme. That 5 is a very large number when we get there. How large? I don't know. I mean, we'd have to. When we get there, I'll figure it out for you. I'm not that unfamiliar with the game, but absolutism is one of those new expansion pack things, just like the Dharma did with the trade charters. Army tradition decay of this of negative 0.5%. I think it's neat, but I don't favor that. Production efficiency plus 10%. This will actually be huge in the end game, like much later, maybe another 100 years from now, like at 1632. Production gets really good because you have manufactories in place and you're producing a lot of goods. So this is something that you choose this. It may not give you an immediate bonus, but over time it'll just get better and better. Then the last one here. So basically, so this is like America. You're going to make a union of states. So you no longer have wives or heirs. you have a 4-term duration, and basically you're going to have an election. Ugh. But your stability costs go lower. So you're basically moving, that's an interesting one. I think that would be fun to try, but I don't want to do it. So I think the General Estates is excellent. I actually think this one's interesting. Let's just put it that way. Parliament has its own painful thing that it gives you. So I'm actually just going to do this because I'm going to fire and forget. Parliament requires a lot of hand-holding. We'll let the nobles be the nobles. And yeah, I'm trying to just remember my army. Oh, see, look, we're going to go to war against Morocco, and I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble because I haven't been paying my army maintenance. So now I'm up to 100% on my army maintenance. But see, my army's already getting wiped out here. So we just took a huge hit. And we lost our state because we were mothballed. So basically, we just got attacked immediately. Do I want the 150 bucks or the 50 administrative power? I think in this case I want the 150 bucks. And you can see here we're losing 7 a turn. And it's largely because the army maintenance is 15 because we're refreshing our troops here. But it'll eventually get up there. And the army maintenance will go down a little. And let's see if we can take back our province. All right, so local tax modifier in Rio went up. That's not very good, by the way. Now this one, if you can gain population in one of your colonies, you usually take it because extra population is good. And now Cabo de Voa has livestock. That's interesting. So it's real cheap. It's not super great. And I can build something right now, but I think I want to hold off because I am still, see, my $7 a month is now 4, and I know it's ducats, but I'm going to say dollars all the time. Largely because you get a huge fee when you're reinforcing your army. All right, so we can gain a tax or a production, and you can see there's, either nobility loses loyalty. This is what I was talking about. If we would have gotten rid of the nobility, we wouldn't have gotten this stupid. I'll go ahead and do that one. And now we're going to have to deal with the burghers. And then these guys. Dang it. So we were hunting pirates, but I'm going to just go here so we can. Why can't I transport? I should be allowed to transport my units. So this is, it's automatic transportation. Well, maybe I need to move to this province over here. It won't even let me go into the, well here, I'll just walk over this way. There we go. All right, so my king just gave me a global settler increase of 15, which is awesome. This is why Portugal is really good. And then what country is this? Interesting. And we are at war with all of them. All right, so let's see what we can do here. I don't know if we're going to be very effective, but so our liberty desire just went up. I'm going to boost the stability of 3. And let's also raise some war taxes. That's always good. South Georgia is going to produce fish. If I ever have any desire to take Tangier, I got to basically take their capital, which I think is Fez. And I'm going to go ahead and march in and try to take Fez right now. Oh, let me pause. My current heir will die. I either lose a stability or 10 prestige. Well, I'll take the 10 prestige. It was a hunting accident. And then I got a new heir that has the exact same name as the old one. That's really creepy. But it is what it is. I'm going to gain the tax base. Lose a lot of money. All kinds of stuff happening. This sometimes happens when you're on fast speed. Is too much happens all at once, but I'm going to go ahead and pause here. Now, what just happened behind all that, I don't know if you were paying attention, is I lost a battle. Tlemkin over here came in and just hit me hard. And my whole army got wiped, didn't it? No, it didn't. I'm all the way up there. So you can see I'm recovering my armies. It was costing me a certain amount. My manpower is much better than it was, which is good. And so now I'm coming down and I'm basically asking the, dang it. They took Tangiers back already. And then there we are. So now we're back and we're trying to take it back. Back to square one. Okay, one of our colonies became self-sustaining. So we go here and this is all looking fantastic, to be quite honest. And we're just going to keep going north because the south part is harder for the enemies to reach. So Spain probably has the range because they're over here. So they could probably come across and get south. The other thing is Spain is going to traditionally be up north. Oh, look at that. Scotland. Do you see that? Scotland has embraced. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. And you will see that. And look, there's England, right? So England is in the game. France. So they're all in. England has, and Scotland both, has started to send out colonies. So we have to be really diligent about, claiming our territories. The Pope will do the demarcation line, or whatever that's called, and force Spain to be above the certain parallel in the equator. And so staying south is the smarter way to go. And as you can see, Scotland and England are both fighting for, oh gosh, what is that? That's Colombia, Venezuela. So those territories, I think that's more Venezuela. Colombia, I think, is more over here. But anyways, they're fighting over that. So let them have it. And so what our goal is we just keep, taking as much of this as we can. And I'm going to creep north before I creep south. And then the inland, these are actually very valuable as well. But you don't want to take those. When the colony forms, they will take those. And you want to take all the coastal stuff because that's how they're going to show up, the enemies. They'll show up in the coastal regions. This war, of course, is just annoying. And we have somebody helping us here. The Papal State is actually here with a big 26K army. That's quite awesome, in fact. And I'm going to go ahead and take this country because whatever it is, it's just a single province location. Those were all just telling us that religious turmoil Look at this. What's this blue? So Morocco has some Tetuan. All right, so see, this is now over. And if I go in, I can't sue for peace because I'm well, this is a junior partner to Morocco. So we basically have to defeat Morocco in order to truly get any traction there. And I'm going to try to go for their capital. Okay, so 10 papal influence. The 50 administrative power is always good, so I'll take that. We just finished some exploration. Let's keep going in Arabia. And here you can see I'm getting some nice bonus. We could build some stuff. There's a part of me that wanted to save it so I can upgrade my ships. But getting an extra 17 cents, I'm going to go for it. And market power is good. And some of these aren't in our home territory, which is interesting. But all right, so we just built in 2 places. Let's do a quick check here. How are they doing? They're almost done. We have 3 colonists. One is, oh, that's right, we got that one in South Georgia, which is that little weird island. So we basically have 1 colonist doing South Africa, 1 colonist claiming the easy island so the AI can't hopscotch, and then 1 colonist doing Brazil. And then I think because of that last tech advantage, we can get a merchant here. Yes, we can. So we can choose to collect from trade or transfer power. So we're going to go ahead and transfer power. And as soon as he gets there, we're transferring 0.32, and that number should change. It hasn't. Oh, I got to pay attention to our battles here. We just lost a siege. And look at that. We got 40,000 armies fighting us. Jesus, 40,000. And then that's Morocco there with 30,000. So Castile agreed to a white peace, which basically is nothing happened. So they have all those armies. They have to be like so far in debt because we can't hold armies of that nature. Now getting this up to level 9 was good because we were falling behind. But now we can have 3 more states, which I know doesn't seem like much, but states is really big when you're trying to take territory. And then we can build a courthouse, which is also very helpful. So this is something that once we reach level 8, we can just pass this and our missionaries are now going to be 1% stronger. I'm okay with that, so let's do that. We just gained 100 population. Tlemcen no longer considers us a rival. We lost the effect of the crusade, so we got to pick a new rival. Oh, where is that? Good. So we finally got enough to get this to be self-sustaining, and a couple of things now. Remember, it's part of the trade company, right? So you'll see that it's considered a core province, even though the religion and everything is off. It doesn't matter. We're going to get 0 tax because it belongs to a trade company. And you can see that right there in red, it says minus 100%. But then the production shouldn't really be changed too much. But then the trade power way down here is plus 100% because it belongs to a trade company. Okay. And then the unrest is going to be 0 because we never have to worry about the fact that they're the wrong religion or the culture, because the trade company is going to take care of all that for us. And these natural harbors are very important for trade companies because that local trade power of plus 5 now becomes a plus 10. Does that make sense? So this is where trade companies are big. Now, if I try to improve this, that's going to improve my manpower, but this has 0 manpower somewhere in here. I don't know where, but if we, right here, 0 manpower because the trade company makes it 0. Okay. So increasing this doesn't do anything for us. It makes the garrison a little bit bigger, but don't worry about improving this too much. Now, this, though, is good because the trade value of the livestock goes up by 40 cents if I improve this by 1. And that will help indirectly with our trade power because it makes the trade value go up and the goods produced go up, which if we're producing more goods that's contributing to the trade node than other people are, then we're going to have more overall power. And of course, if I ever have 160 bucks and increase this trade harbor to level 2, which will improve my power that way. Now, the most powerful part about having a trade company is we can now buy these buildings down here. And for example, I can build a company garrison, which will make the defensiveness better. And then you got to pay attention to, like, once you get to level 2, level 3, the harbor here makes local trade power go up and production efficiency go up. So this is a really good one. And then eventually you can get up to, well, that's just a naval force limit bonus. Foreign influence does local tax modifier, but that's not very good because we don't do taxes. Then eventually you get to a trade value modifier. So it's interesting how you have to, build one to get to the other. And then broker's office, production efficiency. This is a huge one. And local goods produced goes up. It's very, very good, these ones. And then governance is a manpower thing, which I'm a little confused because I know with no manpower you can't do much, but it's a territory. Can we make it a state? I don't know why we'd want to make it a state. It's part of the charter. All right, so what we can do is we can improve our charter by adding more over here, or we can come back up here to the West Africa, because you can see Spain just encroached all the way down into us. So we can actually start taking some of these territories behind. Oh, that's considered wasteland, so we can't even go off the coast. Or we can shore up what we have over here. And I think I'm going to just give up on the West Africa front. I think we got everything we want there. Our trade power is definitely in the lead. And not quite as much as I was hoping it would be, but we're definitely in the lead. What I could do is make a trade company there as well. That would be interesting. You know what? I'm going to. Let's do it. So we just made, and let's see what the next month brings. So all that did was transfer an extra couple cents. Oh, you know what? It's because we haven't added anybody to... I think we have to add them to the... See right here? They can only be created in territories. See, I made this into a state. So I can click to make it back into a territory. All your cores, making them full cores again will cost another. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll break up the state. And then now I should be able to add them to the trade company. So boom, they got added. They're going to get added. So we just added all of them. And we come over here. Did I make them a state too? I guess I did. And I'm going to add them. All right, so let's pay attention. I'm making $6. Let's mothball our fort. We'll get even more. So I'm getting $6. I know I mothballed the fort, which is going to add another $1.50. But then let's pay attention to this trade node. So we have a trading company, West African Charter. You can see Castile also has one here, and Tuscany also has one here. So now we moved up to the next month. I'll take the tax base. Okay, so we're now at 227 being transferred. Our trade power, I think we were at 144, so we went up by like 30. So I guess it wasn't super a lot, but up here we're up to $8. We said we were going to add another $1.50. We were at 6 something. So I don't know how much exactly we added, but we also don't have to pay state maintenance anymore, so that's helpful. Again, we've been messing with the idea of charters. I don't know which is best. That's the part about this that's a little interesting. But yeah, I made these a charter to double my trade power. And I think the larger thing is this. When I have the money, I'm going to be able to boost my power that way. And again, I can't stress enough that prior to the Dharma expansion, you never had this charter option. You had to do it the way I was showing you, which I didn't mind. I actually thought that was fine. But okay, so we now have Naval Supplies. And we're getting $7 now. So a couple things expired. All right, a couple of things I want to do. Coming back up here. Where's our troops? So our troops are far away. I'm going to reduce the maintenance down so we can get some major bucks. I want to, and this is the thing, you have to take the risk. We're mothballing our forts, we're lowering our army maintenance, because I want this to be $10 a month, because we need to spend money. Let's invest in our country, and by investing in our country, we're going to make more money, improve our income. And so here you can see I just got enough to finish the wharf. So now we're ready for Star Trek. And so wharf is here, and we got the max colonial range of 100 now, and a naval equipment manufactory, which we haven't made. Equipment manufactories, any manufactory, costs like 475. Our income is so poor, we're not even thinking of buying something that costs 475. So here we get a tax modifier, which doesn't help us. And here we lose 2 war exhaustion. I don't even know if we had any, but we should definitely not have any now. Oh no, we did have war exhaustion. So we're down to 0.22. And I'll go ahead and take the Papal influence, and let's see what we can do with that, by the way. Here you can see the Empire of China. This was all an expansion pack. And you can see that if you're the Emperor of China, you get all these. It's sort of like the Holy Roman Empire. And then they have the ability to do various decrees, and then there's tributaries that all offer tribute. But see here, I have 200 influence, and I can pretty much try to be the next pope if I wanted, but you know me, I prefer to get the monies. Let's see. This mercantilism isn't a bad idea either, but I'm going to take the money, and I still have 150 left, so I'm actually going to go up 1, 2, 3. And now why do that? I think it's trade. So I just moved us up to 16%, and that gives us a trade modifier of plus 32% for every province. And We don't really embargo other people very often, but you know what? I should. Let's see. Morocco, of course, has been a pain in our ass. So let's come down and... So we can't embargo them while we still have a truce. But that's one of the things we can do. And if you... it reduces the power of their traders in the nodes that we have the power. It does reduce our trade efficiency unless they're rivals. And they should be our rivals. Where was that? We actually only have 2 rivals right now. Oh, I'm sorry, that's them. For us, we have Morocco. So we can embargo them for free. And in fact, I apologize. We should have been doing that a long time ago. And I don't want to make Castile a rival. So that's the reason why we only have one rival right now. But I also want to get... so this ship here, let's get it into port and let's see if we can get them upgraded. It says we need $323 to upgrade 16 ships. That's not good. So we can remove a cardinal, or we're going to have unrest in Coimbra of 22 nobles. Whew. Where's Coimbra? There. Well, we're going to need our army maintenance to go up to full here. Let's see how long we can go before answering this question. So I'm trying to get my army morale to go up. Oh my gosh, come on. So, war for independence against Aragon and France. So Aragon is asking for independence from Castile, and then France is going to join them. Oh, we're going to get toasted here. All right, so I don't want to lose the cardinal. So we're going to get 22 noble regiments, and this is going to be a tough battle, in fact. And then somehow or another we have a colonist available. So is it because I never picked the new spot? So let's go down here, send a colonist. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and we're in a lot of trouble right now. So there you can see the 22. I do have a general, and they won't have a general. That's the one thing about rebels. So even though they had more than us, we came very close, but we weren't able to defeat them. And so what they did was Coimbra is going to have like issues for like the next 10 years because of what happened there. And that event I just quickly went through gave us 100 population somewhere. I don't know exactly where. This colony is complete, and you can see it's going to have Portuguese culture because there wasn't much we needed to worry about there. These other ones, actually we should check. We're fine. So let's continue our tradition of taking up the islands so the AI can't. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm up to 282. I am at war, so I'm very concerned. I'm only getting $1.29, but that's better than nothing. I want to reinforce my armies here, and we just joined Spain at the perfect time. Kick them out, and boom. We got rid of the... So the separatists, or whatever that caused that revolt, is over. And here it's saying we can afford to invest in our trade company. And of course we have all kinds of exploration to do. So let's keep that going. I wanted to upgrade my ships, because if you don't, you're going to get your ships destroyed very easily. And see, France is out here with their ships blockading me. So we're not in good shape. And I really don't want to participate in this war. So I'm keeping my armies home. We now are considered a great power. That is interesting. So, wow. I don't know what we did to be considered one. I'm sure there's somewhere in the game where it explains it, but I think it has to do with this. We gain 44.44 score each month, and we're 57th total. It's got to be more than just that. All right, so I think we can do some stuff here. Since I'm a power, I think I can make France a rival now. Cannot add a rival while at war. Okay, well, I guess we can't do that. This is a level 2, so we can't improve that. So here you can see Aragon and, Spain is trying to fight back here against France, and it looks like they got themselves 3 territories that they're on the process of taking. But it's just a matter of time before France comes down with their mega stack, and we get ruined. In this case, this is nice, but I am actually going to take the money in this case because I want to get started with stuff here. I want my ships to be improved. So they're super poor right now, and now they're getting upgraded. And so we just lost our explorer. So I need to find those ships and get them home. So these guys, where are we? We're very far away. So let's get them home, which of course is going to be here. And there's nothing you can do. You just basically put them on a beeline path and hope they get there. So France, no, I'm not worried about that. Okay, we just bought the thing there. One thing we can do is save up money and try to buy something for our charters. Or do we keep improving our homeland? I think we keep improving our homeland. By the way, this is the manufactories. In old Europa games, there was a naval manufactory separate from like a grain manufactory, separate from like a copper. Now they just have a generic one called manufactory. But when you go to build this, let's say I had the money, I can only build this in the places where I've unlocked the tech. So, for example, I recall we unlocked naval manufactories. So I would be able to build one anywhere I have resources that produce naval goods. But if I haven't unlocked the one that does like iron, for example, I wouldn't be able to build one of these there. So it'll be simple. When you click on it, it'll tell you where you can build one and where you can't. So it looks like anywhere I have fish, I can build one. All the wine, the grain, livestock, so all the food. And then these tropical woods, I think, count as naval goods. And I have no idea what a manufactory does for slaves, but it is what it is. And it looks like I don't even have naval goods here. I know at least one of my provinces that I'm trying to turn into a colony has naval goods, but anyways, I digress. So what should I do? My forts are up. This one will give me 23 cents in Cabo de Boa, but do you remember Cabo de Boa gives me no tax revenue? So this is very misleading, these two. I don't think it gives me anything. Now what Cabo de Boa would get me is 4, and this would actually turn into an 8. So I'm going to go ahead and, or am I miss Cabo de Boa? Is that over here? And look at this bull crap. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was Espirito Santo. Cabo de Boa was down here, right? Where is Cabo de Boa? Esperon. Yeah, right here. So since this is a it's saying, oh yeah, this will help because that's a marketplace. The church, it's going to let me build one here, but the local tax modifier goes up. But remember, it's minus 100%. So got to be really careful. This little chart thing, you can't just click, 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 click. It is annoying. I wish there was a way you can say, okay, remove charter provinces, because the charter province is not going to be helpful at all. Now, the courthouse causes state maintenance to go down, and state maintenance is, for example, 0.32. I can reduce it by 16, which is like getting an income of 16, if you want to look at it that way. And I only have 2 actual states. But it's funny how it's in every province. But let's go ahead and build some courthouses in our 2 biggest cities, and that should give us some revenue. And then see, this is only 13 cents. The workshops, of course, are going to be really huge as we get going to be able to produce more goods. And you can tell I'm doing that sort of last because it is more of a late game thing. And yeah, let's get our big bonus there. And so I just spent all of our money. We are at war, so I should be careful with how much I'm spending money here. And you can see France just took everything back. We lost a claim. Oh, this is all the... we lost all of our claim against Morocco. So I guess it expired or something. I don't know. Whenever we got those claims, I guess it was just temporarily given to us. Oh, because it was a crusade that the Pope allowed us to have. All right, so as you can see, I'm still avoiding France. Not really excited about this particular battle. Spain, here we go. Tuscany. All right, I'm going to just follow our pattern and keep going up, up, up. I do think maybe I want to make a state here, because you can see these are all the provinces of a state, and it does help to take and claim that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. The maintenance is a bit high, but it's probably because we haven't cored everything. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And for our edicts, I really like the protect trade one. That to me is the best one in the game. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you can even do, like here, local construction costs, local missionary strength, or culture conversion. But the thing is everything is our culture. So we don't have to worry about that too much. This will give us manpower. This will give us base production. And base tax. So I'm going to do the production one. I'm doing this for the +1 to base production. But before I do that, I should probably improve our production in a few of these. And you can see we're actually pretty high in production on most of them. So yeah, I'm just going to take it. And boom, we just improved our state immensely. And yes, we have pirates because our ships are being upgraded right now. And you can see they're fully upgraded, and now those cogs turned into flutes. Okay, so that cost us a lot of money just to upgrade our and then the caravels here. I don't know how those caravels got mixed in, But we now have 2 caravels in there. They were protecting the trade node. And these caravels, of course, are down here. So to upgrade the ship, I must be in a port. So I'm going to go ahead and bring them to port. And let's see if we can upgrade them. And we will. And then I'm just going to put them back on a mission to protect trade in the Ivory Coast. And what they'll do is they'll heal themselves before they actually leave for the mission. So you can see they're healing up, and then they'll automatically go out for the mission once they get to sufficient health. All right. So this guy wants to give us a gifted counselor, a natural scientist that'll be 50% cheaper. So he'll give us production efficiency of 10%, or we could just gain 5 prestige. I think I'm at a point now where I'm making enough money that we want to get our counselors back. So let's try. So for example, this one keeps our unrest down, inflation reduction, and then is this the one that was cheaper? Yes, it is. See, he only cost 12 instead of 20. But here's the thing, even though he's cheaper to get, it's $3 a month to have him. So I'm going to choose this one, and I don't know why they're $1.50. I must have some inflation issues going on. Diplomatic reputation, trade efficiency is always good. And then the last guy, reinforced speed. So this will take down our income by quite a bit. Decisive defeat. So the Papal States are going to cede Avignon to France. They just got obliterated. So our truce expired with Morocco. So here's the thing we should have been doing all along. Gonna go. Oh, actually, it's a diplomatic action. So Morocco, we're gonna issue an embargo because they are a rival, and so it'll be free for us to do, and it'll reduce their power in the trade node. And I don't know if it already happened, but Morocco's power, it was 16. Yeah, see, look, it just dropped to 13. But it's a freebie. We don't have to pay anything to do it. So, okay, now they're asking us to create a state in these little, so South Georgia and the Falklands, if we have both of those, it'll make a state. So we could send a colonist here. We do have one available. Where? You know what? I forgot to send one here, didn't I? Yep, I did. I want to keep this going, so we need to claim Brazil before it's too late. Because you can see here, Scotland just sent another one. And that's funny, because these two hate each other, and they're right next to each other. I'll take the prestige. Legitimacy is harder to raise back up. I mean, it does raise up on its own, but I don't think Castile has agreed to peace yet. So we're still in the middle of this war, and sorry, I'm trying to read and talk at the same time. So this is a skill 3 guy. We can't afford a skill 3, so I want to take the second event here. Just get 50 administrative power. So we can lose half of our settlers in Puerto Seguro. I'll just spend the 50 ducats. All right, so you can see here, Spain is still holding out. They keep taking provinces, but then France will send their stack of doom down. And so do we want diplomatic or administrative? I don't think it matters. But I'm going to do diplomatic since we're at war. And look at that, 44,000 troops from France. And they can afford it too. 29,000 men, 7,000 and 8,000 cannons. And we're sitting here with 14, 3, and 1. It would be nice actually to have a cannon, but we don't have enough manpower to get some more. And you can see they're starting to come into our territory. But I think as long as we don't get involved, and Morocco just has pirates out against us, I'm trying not to get involved. And you can see Aragon actually is attacking me here and here. So I'm going to see if I can negotiate a peace. And they're not going to let me do a white peace. We're technically losing because they've been blockading us. So if I say offer tribute and I say suggest offer, Portugal will give 10% of their income for 10 years. Holy buckets. And then pay 310. And we would lose 2 prestige. I'm going to send it because I don't want to lose my troops. And Castile, you're on your own. So yes, I did have to take some loans here, but and let's see if we can get our rivals in. Aragon and Burgundy is very far away, so we'll go ahead and pick them. Not a big deal. And since Aragon is our rival, I think we're at a truce, so I can't do anything to them, but I could issue an embargo once that truce goes away. That 44,000 stack of doom, I don't even want to come close to touching that. So here you can see we're getting $2 a month. Now that's with 3 advisors now boosting our power. That's very good. And well, for Portugal standards. And then we're going to mothball our forts again. And I'm going to actually reduce the army maintenance again. And we should be... Here we go. We're getting $5. I'll take that. We're losing $1 in interest. So once we get the loans paid off, we'll get another $1 there. The inflation is 0.45%, which would explain why we're paying $150. We can spend 74 to get rid of the inflation. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then that, of course, is getting us better money. We can gain 2 base production in Wida. Slaver King. Ugh. Portugal will discover all these places which looks like they're in Central Africa. Or we get trade power 10 for a couple of years. Okay, so in this case, I'm actually going to take the discovery. Because discovering things is always harder to do. And I think that's what this center... No, that's just wasteland. What did I just discover? I have no idea what I just discovered there. That was a thing where we would get another advisor, but I can't afford those advisors. You know, anything level 2 or more is going to cost me a lot more. And we get to upgrade our military tech, which we're doing really well there. We just unlocked another infantry. So let's do that. So here you can see the infantry is getting significantly better. This is a very defensive infantry, where this is a more offensive one. You're eventually going to start using your cannons to do most of your damage. So I actually like the Tertio, because then you can rely on your cannons to do most of the damage. But I'm being a bit of a hypocrite because we only have 1 cannon, but I'm going to make it at least to 2. Every cannon costs $30. That's the biggest problem. And here we're going to get both, so that helps our settlers. if we unlock another idea, it definitely needs to be a military one. Oh, and then I had another update. Remember when I told you, for example, this one's administrative, so it showed up under diplomacy, and I was like, well, how could I make that show up under administrative? It's where you pick. So this is the administrative policies, these three. So because I picked the middle, it showed up under diplomacy. So I should be able to, can I remove a policy? I don't know if I can. So let's go ahead and do that. And then now I'm going to click up here and then click on this one. Oh, nope, it still showed up as a diplomacy. I apologize. I thought for sure it was going to move up here and count towards one of my administrative ones, but it doesn't. My apologies. Yeah, so this is moving us towards our next idea. The third one is going to occur at level 10, and we're upgrading to level 9 right now. And our production efficiency just went up by 2%. So empire-wide, we're now producing more goods. So I think, hopefully you're seeing that I have this little tenuous game going on where I'm getting really, I am improving. We're doing really great from a colonial perspective, although we're still not making a lot of money from our colonies. But the colonies are happening. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as Portugal. My economy is slowly trying to get better, but we are nowhere near capable of standing up against France. Heck, we can't even stand up against Morocco, and Morocco is a backwards nation. So that's part of our issue. And then these ships here, I'm going to send them to hunt pirates. And then as far as our navies go, oh, I forgot. These guys came home, and we need to get them their explorer. So I was playing without an explorer for the longest time. Let's get them exploring. All right, so we got that going. Our somehow our bark ships, which are now caravels, merged in with our main navy, but that's okay. Our general's gone. Now, how do you get a good general? You might wonder. That's where the army tradition comes in. So we actually have a leader. I don't know how we got this guy. It must have been one of the options I chose. But if you click on him, it's modified by army professionalism. Well, you get army professionalism for hiring one, but you can see he gets between 3 and 10 pips. So these are pips. That's 1. This is 2 more for 3. That would be 6, and then 1 more for 7. So this is a 7 pip leader. I'm going to go ahead and just pick him. He's a general just like anybody else. They do get a bonus against natives, which isn't going to happen here. I don't think it happens against Muslims either. They're not considered natives. But so our little policy of expanding these islands is working. I'm not too concerned about this island yet because they still haven't gone to the Cape. But what I do want to see is if we can make a state down here. I'll take the Falklands, and then we can make a state here of the south. See, this state has 2 provinces. So if you can control all the provinces in a state, that's ideal. So up here, for example, that's a state, and then this is going to be another state once it's formed. And then down here, you can see a state here is all those provinces around the corner. But this is a charter, so you're never going to make a state out of those. These guys, this is a state, but you can see I need to control Ndongo down here. And by the way, these are the ones that got revealed because Ndongo was part of the thing. So we revealed all these Congo territories. Not really interested in that. This here, as far as a state goes, it's all these islands here. So I would need Fernando Po, which is that little island there. But it's part of the charter, so not too worried about that. These ones out here could be a state. I haven't made them one. Or yes, I did. So the Canaries, Madeira, Tenerife, you can see 2 of them are owned by France. You could still make a state out of it, but you can't use these super bonuses here unless you control all of them. That's the reason why you want to control all. Oh, it's my experience that you may want to quarantine. Otherwise, it triggers the possibility for further events to trigger, which means, you know, it's spreading throughout your colonies. All right, that was just news from Austria. Nothing crazy there. Diplomats. So we can send, for example, Castile has been our cushion, but they are getting beat up badly. I still want to improve my relation with France. And let's do it with England, because I don't need them causing me trouble. This one gives us inflation. I'll just take the 10. And keep exploring, just like Dora, just keep swimming. And all these coastal regions can be revealed. And the reason more and more things are becoming available is because our range is improving. We have a territory here, and now all of our range goes from this location. So everything you can see here, look, we've discovered enough to cover the whole world. So if I can get a colony somewhere in here in the middle, I think I can actually circumnavigate the globe now. So what I want to do then is, for example, this one here, I'm not in a rush, so I'm going to go ahead and recall him. And I know it's going to cost me extra money, but I think I clicked on Wake Island here. Oh, we just finished a colony, so that's even better. Swellendan, that's that one. Okay, let's go back to Wake Island. And, oh, see, the province is too far away. It's 994. Our range is 744. So then we're going to do one of these islands. Like that one has... Some of these aren't good, by the way. Like that one, see, gives you all kinds of penalties. Let's see, what are the best trading ones here? It's like you can see... All right. Maybe we just need to continue. There we go. We can go to this little island here. So I don't have to worry about being attacked because I'm on an island, but we just want it so we can send a ship, right? We want a place to circumnavigate the globe. So I'm going to do that. And then the other one, of course, was in South Africa. And I know I want to improve upon that. Don't get me wrong there. But this Falkland Island will be a base. But then from there, our ships would have to go all the way across the Pacific. So let's see if we can get to Hawaii. And you can see that's too far away, 1287. And then these islands here are still incognito. Let's do Galapagos, 789 to 744. So just a tad too far. And then like we can maybe get into Chile. Take one of these. I'm going to wait. Let's just keep this going. I'm going to keep following our pattern. And where the heck? So Cabo de Boa Esperan. So it's telling us we can send missionaries to convert these places, but remember they're controlled by you know what, we still get prestige for it, but that's expensive. For 29 months, pay $289. Yeah, I'm gonna wait there. let's take this. Naval morale got in, and we could slander merchants. I have never slandered merchants ever. I don't even know what that does. Let's see if we can figure that out. So if I go here, see, I always take maximize profit. You could choose to do hostile trading, which just lets you build spy networks, and I don't do spy networks. This improves your siege ability. So if you're planning on doing war there, you can do that. This is letting you improve relations. So this is really good. Like if you're by India and you want to improve relations with them, none of those are slander merchants. So we don't like Morocco very much. So let's see if we can slander their merchants. All of our diplomats are busy, but oh, right there it is. Slander merchants. You need a spy network of at least 70, so it's one of those spy options that I never do. All right, well, fair enough. No argument there. And let's buy stuff. Rio de Janeiro. One of the things I know I want to do, though, I apologize again. So like this one is only a $0.50, and I'm moving 269. Here I'm only moving 229. So these merchants aren't moving that much. I'm at least moving $6 from here. And then I know this is only 64 cents, but this will get bigger and bigger. But over here, see, it's not very big. But my Brazil is starting to add up, right? And $1.24 is being sent from there because we're transferring $1 just because we have power. But if I want to, I can send one of my merchants that's currently in Safi there to make that better. But I think I just realized it's not going to be any better yet. But this Safi merchant is available to be moved once I grow enough power. And the same with this one in Tunis. Neither of those are really helping me that much. And here you could see my power is pretty solid. Castile, of course, is strong. At some point, with the way France is doing what it's doing, I may want to ally myself with France and then use France to take over Castile and go to war with Castile. That's the part that would be nice. So what did I want to do? It'd be nice to get all my trade power in my homeland, because that's how I get all my money. All right, so this one would give nobility state 10 influence. I don't like giving them. They're already at 81%. Jesus. 91%. More exploration. And actually, I probably need to pay attention to where I'm exploring because I want to circumnavigate the globe. In fact, I could even try it now. Do we want to try it now? They are currently stopped here. It's a full colony. So they would have to go from here all the way to the Falklands, which is a big ask because I have nothing in between for them to stop at the moment. All right, let's do one more local exploration. And we do want coast because we want to reveal provinces, but we're going to do Indian Ocean Eastern because we want to reveal some places that we can produce a stopping point. All right, okay, so we can gain 5 mercantilism. It's not bad. Or 200, 200, and then, both of them. So 200 both. All right, so this is a very interesting event. All of them are good. Getting 5 is huge. But getting 200 each is also huge. I'm going to take the 200 each. You can see here, like, this colony is almost complete. Oh, gotta pause. There we go. They lose 10 influence. Good. Oh, and then the influence thing is going down. So we finally get their influence down from 90%. That's good. We just did another explore. It's already finished. Should we try... If we circumnavigate the globe and we're first, we get huge bonuses. Let's try it, folks. There's nothing else to do, right? Oh, we lost an advisor. Let's do inflation reduction. And let's do... See, the tariffs doesn't really help us yet. But I'll take it. All right, so our... Let's see how they're doing. They are currently where? Here. Let's follow them. We're going to try to circumnavigate the globe. So off they go. This is going to be the hard leg. And you can see they're down to 96%. Where are they going now? Oh, I keep forgetting about my loans. So those just got renewed. All right. Porto Seguro. The Pope affirms the Treaty of Tordesillas. That's what I was meaning. So colonial Brazil is affirmed for us. No Catholic countries will have the legal right to take provinces here, and our colonies will grow quicker. And so, yes, we formed a new colonial nation called Portuguese Brazil. So now here's what happens. It's its own country. It's, we have to do diplomacy with it, just like anything else. But what they are is that they're a colony underneath us, so they will transfer trade power to us. They do have the ability to declare independence if they want. We have military access to them. But what they do is they will have their own settlers. They have their own viceroy. This is their territory. They will produce. We can. I think they. No, we can improve them, but we can, produce buildings there if we wanted. But this is their stuff. Now, if I come here and I settle this and make a colony, that colony will be added to Portuguese Brazil. It will not be mine. But I'm going to do it because this helps us. And then when you look at the trade node, Portuguese Brazil should be in here as their own, or they will be, or maybe because they're transferring power to us, it just shows up as us. But eventually, Portuguese Brazil will do everything to support us. And they are considered a subject. So you'll see here, these are our two trade charters. And we could increase our inflation. So this one achieved, South Africa gave us a merchant. Okay, we still don't have a merchant from West Africa. And we could do this, that would give us trade power plus 50%, but we are going to get a hit of inflation of 0.03%. But if we reduce our inflation, we should be okay. So I'm going to click on that, and hopefully maybe that'll help us get more power there. And here you can see the colonial powers could give us a bonus merchant, but they need 10 cities. So that's the reason why we're going to keep exploring and adding territory for them. The other thing you can do is, so this is how much they like us, and how much their liberty desire is. And we can come over here and click on this. And for the colony of Brazil, we can tell them what to do. Like, are they going to be supportive? Do they want them to be aggressive and passive, etc.? And I want them to be aggressive. So they're going to go out and explore, declare war, whatever they need to do. And we can change the name. This will add 5% liberty. This one, we can reduce our tariffs, which is how much taxes we're collecting from them. Right now, we're only collecting 1 cent, but it does reduce their liberty desire. It proves it for us. Obviously, we can tax them more, which of course makes them want to rebel. And then here, we can reduce our liberty desire by 10% straight up, but we lose 20 prestige. And we can try to recruit sailors. We can replace the governor, which does piss them off. And there's other things that will start to happen, like the enforced religion as if their religion's different than ours, things like that. But I'm telling them to go for it. So, and then here we go. We get another idea. Boom. And all kinds of stuff just happened. So we now can increase our missionary strength. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Increase our missionary strength. I'm going to do that. And tolerance of heretics just a slight bit higher, which will counteract the increasing missionary strength thing. Here we can send missionaries to various places. I don't even know where oh, that's right. Bellatongue's really far away. This one is 18 months. They're pretty pricey. And then this one will never convert. So I'm not a fan of that at the moment. But our new idea. So we picked one from each of these. It only makes sense to pick one from over here. And I can't stress this enough, but quantity is very good. So we're going to pick quantity. And yes, our military strength is not going to, we're going to be spending points on that, but it will help us. And England is now a great power. And here we're losing our great power status. And I guess it's based on technology, overall development, and the rating is development divided by technology. Okay, so when we improve our technology, that's what got us up there. And of course, our development we could spend points on if we wanted, but we haven't. We have a diplomat free. All of our colonists are out. Okay, let's check in on our ship. So here you can see we're down to 50%, and they're going to need so we're producing grain. Now we're down to 21%. We're basically on the verge of dying. They need to stop. Oh, there they go. They're going to land. I think they failed to circumnavigate. Yeah, they failed. So let's pick a different mission. I don't know what they did, but they definitely failed. Let's see. Yeah, I don't care about Guinea. All right, I am at 1 hour 38, so I will go ahead and end this video, and I'll see you in a few minutes.